Stop the pony up.
This is Earl Pony Pierre reporting for Pony5 News. Today, all over Twitter, we are seeing ponies are reporting that PlayStation is selling gangbusters. After their financial report, we have seen that they are reporting that sales are up 73%. And we are seeing that they would have sold more than 40 million consoles. So we as ponies are so happy to see that this is working very well for Sony. What's that? Are you saying that Alicia Keys have a song for us? Let's hear it.
Sony stock keep on falling, ponies are crying, I'm sorry for you.
From one island to another island, from one island.
This is a sickness.
Let's get it. Let's talk about how Sony's stock keeps falling despite them seeing good profits. And we'll also talk about how the Xbox Series consoles is selling better than ever. Let's get it. So not too long ago, Sony came out with their financial report. In that report, they showed that there was so much growth in Sony. This is what they would have given the public. So the public image of Sony is that, everything is well and fine. However, Takashi Mochizuki had something different to say. He is reporting from a Bloomberg article, which is tied behind a paid wall, and he is saying that Sony was not pleased with the sales of the PlayStation in this quarter. Look at his tweet. Sony said PS5 sales in April-June were weaker than what it hoped for and will take necessary steps to achieve its FY goal of 25 million units. I think the goal is possible if there will be price cuts, blockbuster games, or new models. Why is it that Sony stock is falling despite seeing growth in sales? Well, we get a little more insight as to why it dropped when Takashi Mochizuki said this. Sony's share price is falling more than 6% after its earnings that made analysts concerned over short-term outlook on PlayStation image sensor units. Sony said smartphone market recovery will be delayed and sales of the PlayStation 5 in Q1 were weaker than expected. There you have it. Shareholders are not happy with the direction Sony is going for the future. They are concerned about the future. Ever since Sony and the FTC lost against Microsoft concerning the Activision Blizzard deal, Sony have to pivot and no longer rely on the juggernaut that is Call of Duty or Activision. They would need to put up or shut up when it comes to producing games as a service and good first-party games. That is why the stockholders are not confident that Sony can maybe do this in time, something to rival a Call of Duty, something to rival all the studios that will be pumping out great games for Microsoft. So that is why the stock keep dropping, and it will continue to drop until, they get some games going. After all, Sony had absolutely no first-party games for the entire year. Spider-Man would be the first AAA exclusive first-party game on the PlayStation 5. So let's see how this would go. Let me hear what is your thoughts about this whole topic with Sony stock dropping in the comment sections below. Now let's talk about the main topic, the series console sales. There is a new talking point again that ponies are using to try to cope because they are not getting Starfield. They are using a chart from VG Charts. Remember that this site, they always said it is not real. Now all of a sudden, because it's a negative Xbox news, it's real. But regardless of that, they are using this chart to say that the Xbox One generation sold much more than the Series console generation. Funny thing is that these ponies have been saying this about the Xbox for some time now. As you can see there, they have been saying that Xbox has no games. Look how many tweets they have been saying that Xbox has no game. To the latter part of the Xbox One generation and throughout the current generation, these ponies have been saying and preaching that Xbox has no games. Now let me ask these ponies something. How could a console sell without games? You potatoes? Think about it. But guess what? The series consoles was able to beat those odds. Despite not having any AAA exclusives for the Xbox Series X and S, Microsoft was able to beat PlayStation 5 twice since release, and they have been able to sell as much as the Xbox One generation. That means that the Series X console sales is stronger and better before. Because think about it, if these ponies said that the Xbox Series X has no games, then it shouldn't be selling, but it's still selling gangbusters to the point where that it can trade blows with the Xbox One generation, which had a lot of games at launch. Look at the games that the Xbox One had at launch. So we're seeing that the pony narrative as to why Microsoft is a little behind the Xbox One generation is simply what you guys said. They had no AAA first party games, and they still were able to reach to the Xbox One generation. That shows the raw power of the Series X consoles. And we know that when Microsoft starts to produce exclusive games for the Series consoles, like Starfield, the sales will go through the roof. So that is why we can see the Xbox One generation is a little ahead of the Series console. So in conclusion, Microsoft was able to trade blows with the Xbox One generation with, as the ponies say, no games. And they were able to beat the PlayStation 5 in 2 to 3 months when the console launched with no games. How could Sony allow someone without any feet beat them in a race? How could Sony allow a vehicle without any wheels beat them in a car race? How could you guys allow Island Gaming with Jay to mash you potatoes up nice and fine?
Taters are just about done. I'm just gonna give them one quick whisk here.
This is Island Gaming with Jay, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos later.